by yourself, that is well and good. But once you get the opinion of experts in that field, it is a completely different ballgame entirely, because they know what are the key indicators that will make you lose the interview or get the interview. So for those people who are from a non-MNC background, I would say just find key points in your professional experience. There would be something. If you work for a few years, there would be something in your experience that would be valuable, that will be unique to that particular way. Even if it is not unique, even if you have a very good knowledge of that experience, of that particular background, it try to introspect, especially because I have seen with myself also that many a times we are unable to. Third thing is be chill. ISB panelists, my panelists were very, they were not what I expected for sure. They were the interview was very conversational type, and they were very.
There would be my three takeaways from discussing with Bikash with ISB Mantra. Hi Bikash, welcome to ISB Mantra's video chat session. Before we dive into our discussion, I want to take a moment to extend my heartfelt congratulations for an admit to ISB. Your achievements from scoring an impressive 760 on your GMAT to securing an admit at Indian School of Business is truly, truly commendable. Your hard work, dedication, perseverance have clearly paid off, and it's inspiring to see your success. We are excited to hear more about your journey and insights. Congratulations, and congratulations again for these remarkable achievements. Okay.
Thank you, Khushboo, for those beautiful words. And yes, I am very thrilled to share my experience, part of which has been shaped by ISB Mantra itself.
Glad to hear this. Yeah. Bikash comes with a PSU background with over 4 years as an operations manager at Indian Oil Corporation. He scored an impressive 760 on the GMAT and has embarked on his journey at Indian School of Business for the PGP class of 2020. I'll start our conversation, and we are curious to know that you were accepted for the ISB class of 2025, but opted to defer to 2026. Could you share the reasons behind this choice, and how did ISB respond to your deferral request?
Yeah, sure, Khushboo. Actually, when I got the admit for ISB, unexpectedly there were some issues that popped up in my family, and I had to take 1 year deferral for the same, and I could not let go of that issues which I had to solve. And initially I thought whether ISB would accept this or not, but I presented the entire scenario, told them what my issue was, and presented them properly to ISB. They were very supportive actually, and they allowed for a deferral very quickly because they understood my situation. And yeah, deferral was not a problem because my situation was really genuine, and ISB accepts the situations.
Right.
And provided me a deferral.
One thing we have also noticed about ISB is a very reapplicant friendly school, and at the same time, as you mentioned, that if you have a personal reason which is genuine, ISB is a school which listen to your situation, which reacts to your situation in a positive fashion, in a positive manner. That's good to hear, because so. Now let's get into your professional experience before ISB. Tell us more about the key highlights of your profile, which you think were instrumental in helping you present a strong profile to ISB.
Yeah, as you have already mentioned, I'm from a PSU working at Indian Oil. Now it has already been 5 years working at Indian Oil Corporation Limited. Working at a PSU actually gave me a very wide range of interactions with a lot of people. My main strength, which I would say, working at 5 years at Indian Oil, was how I deal with people from every walk of life. It's not just the general managers or the chief general manager, state heads, everyone. I also get to deal with on a daily basis with truck drivers, petrol pump owners, dealers, unions, especially the driver union, the staff union, and also I get to work along with a lot of railway staff. Not just that, even general government parties, which are related to oil distribution and supplies. I think this experience, this varied experience of dealing with every kind of people, government employees and top bosses and truck drivers, everyone. This was the key strength in my profile, and which I highlighted in my essays also. And I think ISB like that, which is why they granted me an admit also.
No, that's good to hear because it's very rare that someone holding an experience into operations and with your kind of a profile has to interact with all grade, all kind
Yeah,
of grades. So it is not easy. I understand there will be a lot of patience that is required, a lot of understanding because you
true.
know that there are times wherein whatever you are planning or whatever you are trying to explain, it's beyond their whatever grade of people you are dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. That I mentioned the same thing in my essay also.
Okay.
It's like dealing with a person you can be reasonable with or you can reason with is much easier than dealing with people you cannot reason with. Those people are harder to explain, harder to, you know, get them to work and do follow SOPs and all these things. That was a huge experience that I had in my 5 year
Yeah.
stint at the Indian Oil.
And this is a beautiful statement, in fact, because, like, as you mentioned, that dealing with reasonable people and then dealing for a reason, right? So you
Yeah.
can't find a thin. It's a very thin line, and it's difficult to manage all kind of people for sure. Okay, so you achieved an impressive GMAT score of 760. Really, really, 760 is like a very good GMAT score. So, what strategies or approaches did you use to reach this score?
Uh, Strategy, I would say it is not much different from general strategy, which is preferred by people. But the thing is, the general strategy which I followed was first, of course, identifying my key areas where I am struggling. At that my time, it was GMAT Classic. GMAT Focus Edition was not available at the time. In GMAT Classic, my main weakness was statement correction, sentence correction,
Mhm.
and I targeted sentence correction completely. My biggest chunk of my preparation was in statement correction, and rest all, I would say around 30 to 40%. But towards the end of when I was ready to give the GMAT exam, I had made statement correction my strengths instead of weakness.
Mhm.
So that is the basic strategy for GMAT. You first need to identify your weaknesses. Which section of it are you exactly weak, and work on it till you become strong in that area.
Mhm.
GMAT it requires nothing more. I mean, in my opinion, you just keep focusing on that one weakness, one or two weaknesses. Once you are done with that, you will be ready for the GMAT exam, I would say.
This is inspiring because
And
because one side you said that you identified your weakness, and at the same time you explained it that that weakness is now your strength. So
yeah,
this is something which is truly inspirational, right?
yeah, I would say certain amount of time is also required, dedication and effort, of course. But the biggest part of it is identifying your key weaknesses and realizing how you can convert it. Since your weaknesses are the ones that is reducing your score actually. Once you're done with that, once you have made up with that, that will actually be improving your score along with the other things. So that will become a very big bonus in scoring a good score.
Yes. And
GMAT.
did you take any professional help during your preparation?
I Professional help, I would say that I uploaded materials from certain websites, certain test prep organizations.
Mhm.
But yeah, and prepared on my own, I would say. But those materials did help. Their strategies, not exactly strategies, but I would say their approach, their solutions
Yep.
those particular problems.
Yeah.
So it was basically no thing was coaching or anything. Just their materials, their solutions, and I targeted my weaknesses through them.
Yeah, and as you have
And
already mentioned that identifying your
yeah,
weakness and then working on your weakness with a dedication would be your two uh, key points for those who are preparing for their GMAT.
and yeah, one more thing is for sure. I mean, GMAT is one bad day and it might reduce your score. There is a variation in GMAT score actually. I got 760 very early on, which was a very lucky on my side. But the thing is, it on an average there will be a variation range. There is a score range which you will be getting. So it's not like today if you're getting low, it doesn't mean that you're not up to that mark. It may be that one or two questions just not in your field,
Right.
not of your strength. And
Mm-hmm.
some people who are scoring good also may get few questions which is from their strengths. So it is a variation. You have to give it one or two tries so that you get your actual peak score.
Right.
Getting a low score doesn't mean you're not up for it. It's just that that day it was not your day.
So I would want to put it across as it also depends upon your luck, that how lucky
Not
you are
exactly.
the day you are taking your GMAT.
Yeah. There is a certain luck aspect to everything, I would say. But yeah,
Yeah.
GMAT also has a luck aspect. But if you have prepared very thoroughly,
Mm-hmm.
the range of score, that deviation in score will be very less.
Right.
You don't need to entirely depend on luck. It might be that even in your first attempt, you'll get a very good score if you're completely thorough with every aspect of the syllabus.
I'm now curious to know which, like, this was your first attempt or this was your second?
This was actually my first attempt.
Okay.
I had done mocks previously, but
Okay.
yeah, again, luck was
So
in
you
my
were
favor.
lucky in your very first attempt itself.
Yeah,
For those who are
it's not.
hearing to this video, Vikas was very lucky to get in the very first place.
I mean, it was my first attempt, but actually, I had an issue in my first attempt when I was going. I was my first attempt number 2023. But the
Okay.
thing was that the test center got disqualified because of
Okay.
some test and technical issues.
Okay.
So I tried it again from a different test center. That also got disqualified for some technical issue. This was my third attempt, but third time which I actually went through with that exam in the first center itself, and I got a score.
Yeah.
So
So
technically, yeah, it was my first attempt, but it was my
it's
third
like a
attempt overall.
jackpot, I would say, that you took it thrice,
Yeah,
but on paper it is the first attempt.
yeah, it was the first attempt, yes.
Got it. It's a story. Okay, so
Definitely.
now coming to your essays, because while crafting your PGP essays, which strength and weakness did you emphasize on, and how did you approach highlighting them?
Yeah, as I said, I mean, my biggest strength, which I identified, was my ability to deal with all
Yes.
kind of people from all walks of life.
Praise people.
And yeah, in my essays, I highlighted those strengths actually. It was basically finding out your own strengths and weaknesses, the same thing
Right.
as GMAT. I found out that that was my strength, and the my biggest weakness was that I give in too much time solving those issues, solving my strengths, which leaves very less time for solving my own issues. So I tried playing with these two ideas and found out certain key incidences in my life which highlighted this area. It is very important, I mean, to highlight your strengths. The essay that you write should include the incidents which highlight your strength, because ISB verifies this very carefully. They are looking at this very carefully, because what you're writing, is it matching what you're saying or not, right? So you may write some very good incident from your past, but if they are not highlighting the strengths that you're mentioning in that same essay, it will be a very difficult
Yes.
work after that for ISB analysts, because they are very thorough with the essays.
Yeah.
They try to correlate the same with your strengths and weaknesses.
True.
So yeah, strengths and weaknesses, find out your main strengths and weaknesses, important strengths and weaknesses, and build your essay on that. Build your essay. Once you have written your essay, go through that essay. How does it highlight your strengths? How does it highlight your weaknesses? That is very, very important for the essays.
True. And I would also want to add on this, as you have mentioned, that ISB know ISB knows what is your profile, and they are thorough with your application. And this is one thing that we tell to all our ISB aspirants, that we don't want to write anything and everything, or we don't want to suggest you to write anything and everything to get an interview call, because that's not what you want. You want an admit.
Yeah.
And even if you're called for an interview, and if you don't write, if you are not authentic about your own story, for sure you are not getting accepted in the interview. So it's very important,
Yeah.
as you have mentioned, that know your strength, know your story, write what you are doing. Don't play with your stories just to get an admit, because ISB is there to catch you hold if you write something which is not true.
Yeah, the panelists are experts. I mean, they have gone through this entire procedure already. They are
Yes,
ex-ISB alums, mostly, or ISB professors. So they know how to catch those things.
right,
They will catch those, definitely.
right,
So yeah, the biggest thing, make sure your whatever you're writing is corresponding to whatever the other things you're writing. That's this. It may be a simple strength or weakness, doesn't matter. It should correspond. It should be traceable
true,
from your application. Yeah.
true. Yes, that's even the same thing that even we feel, and even what we tell to our ISP aspirants. And this will help for sure to those who are listening to this chat. Okay, so we see that in fact, because we see a lot of applicants, those who come with a non-multinational companies, okay, background, and non-multinational background, they have concerns about their experience. How did you differentiate yourself and stand out with your PSU experience?
Yeah. For me, working at 5 years at Indian Oil has given me lots of varied experience. Actually, it's not just working at Indian Oil. You work at any company for 4 to 5 years, you will get lots of varied experiences in that field. So many people, I would say, tunnel vision into thinking that they want this particular experience to show in their profile. But no, your experience has to be genuine. That's all, because ISP is looking for unique experiences. It just doesn't want IT sector. It just doesn't want operations consulting everything. It's looking for unique experience. If you have a unique experience and you have a very good experience at that, then you're fine.
Right,
If you are genuinely doing a work, if you are genuinely invested in your work, and I mean, they do not search for these things also. Other unique profile is always a bonus. So when my Indian Oil experience, which I highlighted about my work experience with lots of different kinds of people, and not just that, operations management through lots of various large scale and small scale projects also. They were very curious, and I think that helped also, because in general, working at an oil sector company, having operational knowledge and having to deal with every kind of person is a very huge bonus for the
right,
experience.
right,
So for those people who are from a non-MNC background, I would say just find key points in your professional experience. There would be something. if you work for a few years, there would be something in your experience that would be valuable, that will be unique to that particular way. Even if it is not unique, even if you have a very good knowledge of that experience, of that particular background, it will be fine, because they will question you about your knowledge. Let's say if you are from a unique background, they will question you about that unique background. You will be able to say to them. But if you're not from a unique background, let's say, even if you're not and still have a very good knowledge about that field, you can still impress the panelists. It's not an issue.
Right.
Right. So unique backgrounds are always a plus point. Non-unique background also, if you have ample knowledge about your background, it won't be an issue, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah, that's true, because even we see that ISB is looking for a diverse profile, diverse class, in fact. So they want MNC, they want IT, they want PSU, they want someone who's into sports, someone who's a doctor, right? So, and as you rightly mentioned, that you have to, even if it is not unique, add something that differentiates your profile from
Yeah,
others who are
yeah.
applying. So do want to
There will
have
be
what
some
you said.
point.
Yes,
There
yes,
will be some point. You have worked for 3-4 years, I would. There has to be some point that differentiates you.
right,
You know.
right. That helps, because okay, now coming to like coming to our interview preparation. So you had several sessions with ISB Mantra for your interview prep, including your mock interviews and counseling sessions. How was your experience with our interview service, and how did they contribute to your preparation?
Yeah, definitely ISB Mantra, big part of my preparations, I would say. Uh, I actually prepared my essay on my own, as you know. But the thing is, while preparing for the interviews, I had a story in my mind that I would go in this direction, my career path would be in this direction, my strengths and weaknesses are this. But I still remember my first mock interview with Vikram Singh sir from ISB Mantra. And after that interview, all that I had planned thrown out of the window. you know, so that I mean, yeah. So you're preparing by yourself, that is well and good, but once you get the opinion of experts in that field, it is a completely different ball game entirely, because they know what are the key indicators that will make you lose the interview or get the interview. And the same was facilitated with ISB. Even after my interviews with ISB, I was more clear about my goals too, because the panelists uh, there was a career counseling session also. He told me this particular fields are more viable from your background, because I was trying to go into product management or consulting, but there was also an option of operations management and operations consulting, which I had not looked at initially. So yeah, before I would say without ISB Mantra self, I was tunnel visioning myself into product management or consulting. But then there were other paths also which uh, panelists had shown me, and they were very helpful. And it also helped me creating a more, achievable, believable story, I would say, because ISB Mantra, ISB in general, they want to see if the goal you have set for yourself is achievable or not. They're going to see that if you're and if your goal that you have set is viable with the 1 year of ISB, they will see if ISB can help you achieve that goal or not. So if you're setting something very high, like say very different from your varied profile, they are going to ask about it. And if you're not able to defend it, that will be a very big minus.
Right.
So that entire process, ISB Mantra has helped a lot to me. And yeah, even at the end, I was for a while I thought that even if I get an admit or if I don't get an admit, I still am very much focused right now. I know what to do. I
Okay.
can use this knowledge for other colleges also.
Right.
So I was happy with the service provided by ISB Mantra very much. I would suggest, yeah, definitely go for ISB Mantra without a doubt. Very
It's
helpful.
a pleasure. It's a pleasure
Big
to
part of my
hear. Yeah, it's a pleasure because it's a real pleasure to hear these
Yeah,
beautiful words. I am glad that, as you mentioned, that you ISB has to believe that what you are saying is achievable.
yeah,
So believe, and then first they have to believe, and then they also have to relate it to whether it's achievable or not. And it's it's
yeah.
it's our pleasure that we helped you in your journey from which started from belief and which ended to an achieved state. So thank you so much for this. So because what would be the three advice for future ISB aspirants?
Yeah. First of all, I was very lucky getting a very good GMAT score. So for ISB, it is actually not necessary to get 760. You can get admitted anything above 700 plus is a decent score, I would say. And the biggest thing about is that your entire application should be in a flow. There should not be breaks in your story. If there are breaks, they have to be justifiable. If because they will ask questions about that. Why was there a break? Why have you not gone into this line? Why did you choose this path? Your essays, key strengths and weaknesses, if it is not matching, because at one glance they will be able to identify whether it highlights your strengths or weaknesses or not, and they will ask questions regarding that. So your entire profile should be like a story. You have started from the beginning and you have reached the end, and there were no breaks in the between. So that I would say is how you work on your profile. My biggest advice is make it a complete story, and it will impress any panelists at IHB if you are able to make it a complete story. The second thing is, I would say, focus on those. Try to go, try to introspect, especially because I have seen with myself also that many a times we are unable to find out our strengths and weaknesses, or find out something in our life which will help us further, is that we are not properly introspecting our own life, which we have passed through. There is a hurdle, mental hurdle, I would say. People don't like getting into their own pasts sometimes, and that stops you from identifying your key weaknesses and strengths. Because once you are identifying your key weaknesses and strengths, talking about them and explaining them becomes a lot easier. you know Instead of choosing some materialized, some fancy strengths and weaknesses and defending your own strengths and weaknesses is far far better, because you will be genuine and they will see that genuinity in your profile and your explanations also. And third thing is be chill. ISB panelists, my panelists were they were not what I expected for sure. They were the interview was very conversational type, and they were very supportive, I would say. Much rather they were trying to take things out of me, make me say things. Of course, I was prepared at the time, but still, they were trying to do that. So they will try to help you. Grilling, people say that ISB panelists grill sometimes, but the thing is, if they find faults in your essay, faults or inconsistencies, they will definitely try to take out the truth out of you. So if you are genuine, you will get through that like a breeze, because they will believe your story and they will find out it's genuine and they will be impressed.
Right.
So yeah, be genuine in your stories, make it a complete story, your profile, and be chill. That's all.
Right.
And
These are the three
yeah,
mantras I would say from
yeah,
this
this
conversation.
definitely.
This
This
conversation.
will increase your chances by a lot. Yeah.
There would be my three takeaways from discussing with Bikash with ISB Mantra, that build up your own story. Don't try to bluff. Make it genuine, and find and introspect yourself. Try to dig more into your strength and weakness. Don't try to think about fancy strength and weakness. Just even if it is normal, or if it's a basic
Yeah.
strength and weakness, dig into it, right? Find what
They want your story. Yeah.
they want your
They want
story.
your story. Personal.
Yeah, and the last would be a chill pill. So ISB is looking to get to onboard you. They want good profiles, so they are not looking to reject you, or they are not looking to find fault in an application. They are actually looking for strength. They are looking for good profiles. So there is nothing that they want to embarrass you, or they want to get into a difficult interview for you. So if you are genuine, if you know what you have written, if you are able to communicate it well, um, ISB is your school. ISB
Yeah.
is your dream school. Yes. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yes.
Basically, yeah, this is just that. You have written your story. How are you able to articulate it is what they are seeing. You know,
Right. Right.
they have seen the written part. Now they are seeing how you can articulate it.
Right.
That's it.
And then be chill pill is again something has to be
Yeah.
taken.
Have a laugh with them. I mean, the entire interview we were talking, we were sharing our experiences and laughing.
Yeah.
Certain
That's
things. They were sharing their experiences too along with it. It is very conversational. It's like
very
you're talking
fantastic.
with your friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So act like you're talking with your friends. That they would like that, I would say. And if you're genuine, they will. If even if they start pressuring you, give your genuine reply. I would say that, and then it will become very easy once
Right.
that happens.
True. True. So take your interview again. One more point to be added. Consider your interview as in you are talking with your friends, but talking with a lot of professionalism maybe, and
Yeah,
talking on what you have actually written on your application.
I mean, work friends. Yeah, talking with your
Work
work
friends.
friends.
Correct.
Yeah,
Talking
work
with your
friends.
work friends. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Vikas, for such a candid conversation. I'm sure this conversation will help many ISB aspirants. And I wish you very best, very, very best, not only for a great time at ISB, but also for a placement that you are looking at. Thank you so much, Vikas.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And to ISB Mantra also, genuinely helping me. And I would say from the bottom of my heart, very thankful for the entire process, how they streamlined my profile and my career options. I would say, even if I would not have gotten selected at ISB, that career counseling session with Mr. Naveen Das did help a lot. I would say. So yeah, definitely. And I hope ISB Mantra does well also. So
Yeah, thank you so
both
much.
those
A
great
special
hands.
thanks to our team, a special thanks to Vikram, a special thanks to Dr. Naveen sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with ISB Mantra for such a long duration. And yeah, we wish to get more admits, and we wish to help more future ISB aspirants.